I met with Service Titan, I met with House Call Pro, I met with Drip Job, and then Jobber. Those were the 4 that I met with. And then I was referred to you by a guy from Aleph Holdings.
Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Chris. I am the owner of Boolean Automation, where our mission is to free you up to do what you love. And today I have 3 people that we just helped free up to do what they love. Jeff, Cameron, and Christy from Funky Painting just completed the onboarding and implementation process with us, and this is what they had to say about it. So without further ado, I'll let them do the talking, and we look forward to connecting with you in the future.
Jeff, can you just take a minute or two and just talk about your experience so far with Boolean?
We started launching, I think we engaged middle April, launched the first part middle of May, sales and marketing, and then we launched Airtable, so the production management side, like end of July. I think we did a preliminary phase middle of July, but the full launch was like beginning of August, somewhere around there. Honestly, the things that I appreciate are the timely responses, even just the communication of like, hey, this can't get fixed till next week, but we know it's there and we're working on it. So it's like, okay, we know it's not getting forgotten about or it's pushed back. The organization, just the agendas and okay, we have this, we have these tasks that are outstanding. Just all of that helps a ton to, I guess, keep us organized in a way of what needs fixed, what doesn't, the way that it systematizes the processes. So I see a benefit of as we scale, we won't have to change any processes a whole lot. And because the system kind of requires you to do this step to then go to the next step and go to the next step. And then also the Kajabi trainings, onboarding a new employee will be so much easier. Cameron's done the bulk of it, right? Our current project manager, because he's had to learn it from scratch without some of this stuff. But now the next project manager we hire, it'll just be that much easier, the next estimator or whatever. And then just not having to change as we keep growing and growing. And so it's like a big chunk to invest right now, but knowing this is a one-time investment to then, for the next 5-10 years, we won't really have to change a whole lot unless it's like, oh, we just want to. No, we have to. I would say those are the biggest things for me.
Yeah, a lot of times what I talk to or ask people about in the sales process is software is not going to get you to your goal of 5 to 8 to 10.
Yep.
It's not a magic bullet. But what I ask them is with what you have now or with what you could come up with on your own, what would prevent you from getting to where you want to go?
Well, and that was one thing, right? I talked with the other painter that I referred you guys recently, right? That was one of the questions that got brought up is, well, why didn't you just go offshore? It would have been a fraction of the cost. And I told him, I was like, no, for sure. We kind of debated and threw that around of, okay, do we do this? Do we do that? But then what if they stop responding? What if they lose internet, depending on where they're at? Like whatever. And then it's like, oh crap, we're in the middle of something. Now we need someone to pick up the pieces. And then the other thing, I was like, these people have been in the coatings industry personally. Like Nathan, you're a co-owner of a paint company. Chris was one of the marketing managers of a coatings company, concrete floors and all that. They kind of are soundboards in a way of like best practices too, because they've been there and done that and seen it. So it wasn't just like a tech company, but also kind of like fractional board of directors, fractional CTO, like whatever hat you need to wear that day, therapist, like, right, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. And so I told him, I was like, there's a lot of value there that like having these conversations of, hey, what works, what doesn't about painting specific, not just construction, I was like, has been super helpful these past 4 or 5 months.
Can you think of like 1 or 2 specific examples where that kind of consulting piece has made a difference or made it clear or helped you make a decision?
Just to have the conversation of new terms and technical nuances of the paint industry, like when I was onboarding and vetting of like, do we do this, do we not? And then I started asking questions of like, wait, what's your experience? You seem to know the industry more than just like, oh, I'm a vendor who I know Sherwin-Williams, I know Benjamin Moore, because our marketing people know those. But it's like, wait, like you actually know like how to structure a quote or how to do job costing properly or this or that. And then recently, like, right, coming from the franchise, our quoting is very different than a lot of people, which I thought it was normal because that's what I knew. But now as I've started meeting a lot more people, it's like, actually, we're a unicorn in how we quote, and it doesn't give us any upside potential. And so it's like, okay, like Nathan, how do you guys do this? What have you seen with your clients? As we're right in the middle of this, of I'm starting to try to figure out, okay, so what do our production rates need to be based off hourly? Okay, now updating subcontractor agreements. Okay, like all of this kind of stuff. That's been super helpful.
And then my last question would be, if a painting company owner came to you and asked, would you recommend Boolean? What answer would you give them? Or maybe what questions would you ask them to help them know if Boolean's a good fit?
I just recommended a guy last week, right? Like, and the conversation was, I was asking him like where he was at for like sales for year to date and like how many employees and management he has, like estimators, project managers, and was just asking like kind of how he structures his business. And then it got brought up that he was going to have a call with Salesforce. And I was like, why are you going to some huge conglomerate? My experience when I was interviewing you guys, I didn't meet with Salesforce. I met with Service Titan, I met with House Call Pro, I met with Drip Job, and then Jobber. Those were the 4 that I met with. And then I was referred to you by a guy from Aleph Holdings when I was talking to them. And there's like, have you ever talked to Boolean? I was like, well, no. Okay. So honestly, I told the guy that I just referred to you guys was I realized there's a lot of jack of all trades and master of none. And I'm tired of using them as vendors. And they are not catered toward the paint industry. And so, you know, at first when I was onboarding with you guys, I was like, why the heck do we have so many softwares? Why do we have You Can Book Me? Why do we have Paint Scout? Why do we have HubSpot? I'm like, can't HubSpot be powerful and just do all of this for us, like besides Paint Scout? And then realizing, well, wait, this is like the best software for this thing. And then this next one is the best software for this thing. And when you can then bring them all together, now you have the best softwares for each specific item. And I'm not going to spend 100,000, 200,000 building a proprietary custom software now. And I didn't have to do anything. Well, I did have to do stuff, but you guys did most of the heavy lifting. And again, along the way, showing me like, oh, there's a lot more things available that I didn't realize were available or how to do it. And then also some things of, hey, have you thought about changing this in your company? This is how we've seen it. It works really well. So kind of coming back to that kind of consulting space. So that's what I told the guy.
My name's Cameron Bartlett. I'm the project manager for Funky Painting. So I manage projects from start to stop. I check on clients as well as facilitate things with the subcontractors when it comes to their projects. I also handle any sort of change orders that arise as well as any concerns that a client has. My experience working in restaurants as well as construction itself, that the system we have now is the best one that could have been found for what we do specifically. And the fact that it's a big business you guys run, but you make it feel at the same time so small and personable to where I don't have to worry about feeling like I'm bugging you guys when asking a question. And the answers are so prompt that I don't have to wait for something necessarily to get figured out unless it's like a big thing, obviously. So if it's a small thing, it's usually an hour to 4 hours before I have an answer and I'm able to go about my day with that answer, you know. At least that's from my end of it, especially with managing projects and then doing a little bit of the coordinating side of stuff for them. I have fallen in love with Airtable. Like I wish I could figure out a way to do it for my business, but also I wish that I could tell more people about it, you know what I mean, on how efficient and useful it is, not just for painting, but for like managing any type of business that has multiple projects going.
That's awesome.
Is there like I'm in love with Airtable bumper stickers?
Dude, I would love that. Ask me about Airtable.
Exactly. Oh, that's awesome.
My name is Christy. I do the office administration for Funky Painting. My favorite part about working with the whole Boolean team is that it never felt like an us and them scenario. It was constantly alongside. It was really easy, again, for communication. And never once did I feel like I was talking to somebody that wouldn't understand the words I was saying. It was just one human to another. If there's a problem, let's solve it. Or if we can solve this problem, let us let you know how we did it in case you come across it again in the future. It was just really nice to be educated along with the problem solving. So that way I didn't feel like if I came across the issue again that I was lost and hopeless, which has been the case in other places that I've worked with other softwares before. It was nice to not have that and to actually feel empowered by Boolean themselves.